Russian energy giant Gazprom has announced more cuts to gas deliveries to Germany via its Nord Stream 1 pipeline. From Wednesday, gas flows will be halved to around 20% of normal capacity. The Russian state-owned firm blames the move on technical problems with one of the pipeline's turbines, a different turbine to the one blamed for the existing reduction in flows. The German government says there is no technical problem and Moscow is playing a duplicitous game. The Kremlin denies it's deliberately limiting Europe's gas supplies in response to sanctions.
Russia is not interested in stopping gas supplies to Europe. Russia is a responsible supplier of gas. And whoever says what, whether it be the European Commission, European capital cities, or the United States of America, Russia was, is, and remains a country that in no small way guarantees Europe's energy security. And not just verbally, but de facto.
Well, let's bring in Thomas O'Donnell, who is an energy and geopolitical analyst. Thanks a lot for joining us on DW Business. We've just heard from Dmitry Peskov there saying Russia helps Europe with its energy security. But is there any doubt left that Russia is using energy as a weapon against Germany and the EU?
Well, thanks for having me today, Rob. Things were quite intense between Germany and the rest of Europe for a number of years. The rest of Europe was saying Germany was sort of opening the fortress door to the Trojan horse. And here we have it. We're very dependent on Russian gas, and now the Russians are weaponizing it to support their war of aggression in Ukraine. It can't be put any simpler.
So basically, Germany's allies have been warning them that this was going to happen, and it has happened. But this is what now Germany and the EU has to deal with. The EU has agreed today to a plan on how it's going to reduce its reliance on Russian gas and indeed its overall reliance on gas this winter. But is there a realistic prospect of Germany just ending exports of gas to the EU altogether this year?
No, Germany has a very difficult situation, much more difficult than, say, a country like Spain or Portugal, who installed many LNG terminals years ago. In Germany, the minister, quite rightly, Mr. Habeck, Robert Habeck, says we have to increase now storage by 75, 85, 95%, September, October, November. But the head of the transmission system, the gas transmission system, Mr. Klaus Müller, has said at 40%, he said this a couple of days ago, at 40% supplies coming through Nord Stream 1 is not possible. Now with 20%, it won't be possible. Furthermore, we have an overdependence on wind that was not thought through. There is no real grid scale storage. Although Habeck wants to agree to bring on massively coal to replace the gas that's being used to generate electricity, which is sort of a waste. We need to save that for heating in winter and for industry. Turns out the wind's not blowing and the Rhine is low, the water, you can't bring in enough coal. And so we're burning gas right now when we're supposed to be storing it to produce electricity in Germany at a higher rate than last year. So it's a very difficult situation. I can't see how there won't be rationing in Germany and a number of other countries this winter with grave consequences. This is Putin's plan to divide, to undermine the solidarity of Europe in support of Ukraine. It's an economic war.
We've got this latest cut from 40% to 20%, but it only resumed at 40% last week. I'm just wondering why has Moscow decided to do this week and didn't just do it from the start last week when they turned the pipeline back on?
Well, you're asking me to kind of guess what's going on in Mr. Putin's head, but I think I can I think I could say that, Putin can afford to cut off the gas completely at any time. The amount of money he earns from gas is substantial, but far less than from exports of oil. 3, 4, 5 times less, depending on if you're talking about GDP or state revenues. So he can afford to play games with gas. On the other hand, Europe is most dependent on Russian gas, more so than oil. There's alternatives for oil that can come by sea. There's no alternatives for other pipelines, really, in the short term. So this is his maximum pressure. Instead of turning it off completely, he's playing a game. He's trying to set people against each other. And right now, I'd say his tactical aim is to prevent the storage from being filled so that when he does likely cut it off in winter, it'll have maximum effect. That's how I see this current game.